Sorry.
Hey, you wanted me to move.
Sorry. But I wanted to talk about this Ridgid chase light. I had a lot of trouble actually buying this because it was a lot of money. I mean, it was $650 for a chase light. That's way more than everything else out there. But after having bought it now I really like it. I mean, it is the coolest chase light that I've seen. I thought at first it wasn't going to be worth the money, but actually it really is. Now, we're talking about the Ridgid chase lights. Like, these are not Ridgid chase lights, but these are the same as the Ridgid chase lights that they sell. It doesn't say Ridgid in it, so this is half the price of the one they sell from Ridgid. $240 a piece for these, and you can choose them in red or yellow or blue. And I mean, they're nice, but $240, I couldn't pay that. That's crazy to me. When you can actually buy a tail light from Yamaha, just like this, the whole assembly, the entire thing, for $80. So $80 for an extra tail light, which is what I did, or $240 for this light. Now, granted, this thing does do quite a bit of stuff, but not $240 worth of cool. At least I didn't think so. Now, I had this on before, and I just pre-wired it into this plug and stuff that I got off of eBay, and I ran it into a splice that I also bought on eBay, so you don't have to cut any of the wires. You do have to solder everything together to make it work, but it's not that big of a deal. Anyway, but the reason I have these out is because it has the same 6-wire setup that this thing does. Now, it seems like it's pretty complicated. I've seen people online saying that you have to have this professionally installed. I don't know if that's entirely true. I mean, it wasn't that difficult. I'm not an electrician. I mean, I do sometimes work with electrical stuff, but it's not that big of a deal. Just follow your usual stuff. The red is the power that'll actually control this, that'll start it. You have to have the red on it or else it won't work. The black goes to ground. So if you just remember those two, not that big of a deal. And actually the red is considered trigger 1. Trigger number 2 is going to be your white wire. Trigger number 3 is going to be your blue wire. Trigger number 4 is going to be your green wire. And they also have a yellow wire. This one, if you put power to that, it will actually change the mode that this is in. So that's kind of why I showed this. And then I think for $650, I'm sorry, for $650, I thought it should have came with a little longer lead than a 12-inch lead. So now, what does it really cost? Does it really cost $650? No, because you have to buy the wire that goes to it. You got to buy 6 wires now. You don't have to buy in the same color, but I did, so it's not that big of a deal. Then you need, I bought 10 feet of the wire of the same colors, and then I had to solder them together, and then I had to get 10 feet of shrink wrap and use that also. It's not that big of a deal. There's actually two different modes that you can put these on, that you can attach them to your buggy. There's ones that'll actually go to the tube mount ones, and then there's these mounts that I have on here. I don't know if you want to show that, Donnie, like these other mounts that are here. Now, the reason I bought it with this one is because it already had, this is a brand new cage. I just put it on. This is the crash cage. It's oh man, this thing is beautiful. But it already had these mounts, and it just so happens it was made perfect for this. I don't know if he did it like that on purpose, if he knew I was going to put this, but it ended up being absolutely perfect. The right height, the right width, everything was absolutely perfect. Now, these mounts are more expensive than the other ones if you buy them separate. But I bought this on eBay as a kit. I think the last 3 numbers of the kit number is 902. If you buy the 901, it comes with the other mounts that'll actually go on the tube. But in order to do that, I would have to pull the roof on this, and I didn't want to have to do that. So, not that big of a deal. This ended up being better for me anyway. Okay, so the price of it, $650. Is that what it really costs? No. You're gonna need to wire it all, like I said, the wiring and the shrink wrap is not that big of a deal, but you need the triggers, so you'll need the switches. What I ended up doing is I bought this. Now this was,
Oh, I should have brought mine down.
it's okay. I mean, you don't have to see where it is on here, but I ended up buying this. I bought this on eBay also, and this was $139. Not that big of a deal, but what it is, it has this setup for eight switches. Now I didn't use all of them. I needed one for the flags that I had on here, and there's not enough stickers for this, so I used this. This is trigger 1, trigger 2, trigger 3, and trigger 4. And it actually, this is perfect. Had I have known, I probably would have bought this rather than the other setup that I already have. I don't know if you want to try and pan in there, Donnie, see that? That I have 6 switches there, but with those 6 switches, I was already using 4 of them. And you know, I like Ridgid. I already had a lot of their pod lights. I got a Radiant light on the front. These are Radiant pods, and these things are great. I love these. I had these on the back as kind of reverse lights. It's kind of overkill. These were actually, I think it was like $160 for 2, so that wasn't too bad, and these things are great. But now I don't need these ones on the back anymore, so these were donated to the channel, to DJ Sunday Ride, so he's going to have these on pretty soon. Now I still have my other blue pods in the front. These are backlit with red. These are the Radiance ones also. All mine are blue. The Radiant light bar, the 40-inch light bar, and then I have the 2 blue ones in the front, and they work. Actually, the light bar is overkill. I mean, the light bar itself is so bright. Man, that thing is. That was a lot of money, but it was worth it. Donnie won't say it was, but I think it was. But then again, we never use those, do we? Do we ride at night? No, not really. Not
No,
really.
we
It's
don't.
not. It's not the most fun to me.
I think I got one video on the channel that us riding at night, and that was probably the last time we rode at night.
Why? Because you can't tell which direction you're going, but we got navigation now.
Yeah. But with all the dust flying in your face, all you see is dust.
All right.
You don't
Anyway,
see the road.
let's get back to. So I'm going to go through all the modes that this thing has. I'm going to show you, because I know a lot of the stuff online doesn't show you what this can actually do. They kind of vaguely go through it really quick, and it's kind of a drag, because I know there is a new video out, and it does show a little bit more, and they're not actually, it's not a guy from Ridgid that's doing it, and it's done really well, but it still doesn't show you everything. And he's actually saying too that you should professionally have this done, and I'm saying, do you really need that? I mean, what would that cost you then? You know, 139, 650, and then the wiring is probably what, 40 bucks,
Yeah.
50 bucks with all the stuff.
But having an electrician do it, he's probably charging you 75 bucks an hour.
Yeah, to do it, to run it all. And if you use this is actually very simple. I'll go through the modes and then I'll show you how I wired it here. It's going to take me a second. I'm glad we can.
Let me walk through the other videos that we got going. So, I can be on this side.
All right. Well, it's going to be because I gotta put the key in for the kill switch. Actually, I don't need the key for the ignition at all. I don't need these keys either. What am I doing? Too many keys. Okay, and that's on. So I can bring this back. Actually, you might want to go back outside.
Really?
Yeah,
Are you
because
gonna-
everything
you
I
gonna
can
run
do,
it?
I can do from. Well, it's already running now. So let's see. So I will show you everything that it does right now. So this is blank. I guess that is your number 1. Actually, you can get these from Ridgid.com. And when you go to the chase light itself, you can print these out from their website, and it'll show you how to wire it, and it'll show you the available modes. Now they say 300,000 different variations. I think that's pretty grandiose. I mean, it'll do 300,000, but you got to think about it. If you use numbers 0 to 3, just numbers 0 to 3, so 4 digits, how many combinations would you have? You'd have 1,000. And so if you look at it like that, that's kind of crazy. Anyway, 300,000. I don't think so. I mean, but it has 27 different ones. So let me see. If I go through and turn this around, sure, I don't do a lot of this. Sorry. Okay. Where's my button? So I did turn it on there, right? No, you have to turn it on first, or it doesn't work. Okay, that's the number 0 setting right there, which is completely blank. There's number 1. There's number 2 is blank. There's brighter, I guess, for your brake lights. Solid, dim is number 3. Bright, all of them, is number 4. Then you have that. That's what I use as my brake light right now. That's number 5. This is number 6. This is number 7. Then the whites for number 8. And it doesn't go all the way across. They have a different version that will go all the way across that's made by Rigid. It's only for the Razor. And it will do the lights all the way across, but you only have 11 that you can do. It doesn't have all this other stuff. So what was I on? Actually, this here says number 8. There's number 9. There's 10 with the blue flashing. And then 11 is with the yellow flashing. And then solid green is 12. And there's 13. And 14 is the flashing yellow. There's 15. There's 16. Was that the same? Oh, it was dimmer in the center. That was the difference between the two. 17, and that's the first page. Where's the button again? It's easy to get lost. I put it here, but it's not like that's pretty good. It's easy when you can see it. I said, what was that on 17? Here's 18, which is solid. 19 is the whole thing flashing. 20 is one side then the other. And 21 is that. Now you actually have more for 25, 26, and 27, but those are turn signals only. So the first 2 buttons will only do those 24. So in order to get the last ones, you're going to have to do one of the last buttons. And that's what I had for that. So let me go back to the button here. And then I'll be able to show you when you actually get to the turn signals. So I'm going through all the modes again. There's your one of your turn signals. That is 22. Actually, that looks like 25 on here. 26 and 27. Okay, so with you can only do that with the number 3. We'll only do the 3rd trigger is the only one that'll do that one. You need the 4th trigger to do the earlier ones. Wait a second. I promise you it'll come around.
But that's one of the things with the light, you gotta go through all of the settings in order to get to the one that you want.
So the other one was 22, this is 23, and this is 24, and then you're back to 0. So let's say that you're writing during the day. That's your number. That's your day position right there. So that's one of your triggers. If you're writing during the day, you can change that. Say you're going to write at night, so you want it on dim. Okay, so that's your normal. Let's go all. Let's do it that way so I can show you. Okay, so there's normal. your normal riding at night as if you had your lights on, but it's not a brake light. And there's my actual brake light. But I'm going to switch that. And you got to go through all of them to get to that one again. So I'm going to do the same one again, but just brighter in the center. Look, I'll do all of them bright. There we go. So now there's your regular running light and there's your brake light. Okay, so that's 2 done now. So now if you want a turn signal, you're gonna have to get to where the turn signal is. Maybe I'll edit all this out.
No, because you wanna show the people it going through the different.
Okay, so we'll
The
say
different
actually that. I like that as a turn signal. So there's one of your turn signals. And turn it off, and it's back to normal. And now your other one, now you get to your other turn signal. I'm doing this kind of quick, just hitting the button pretty quick. Now most of the time you won't have it set up with the button on it unless you do what I did. And I'll show you what I did in a minute. Okay, so now we have them set. So I turn that off. All right, so if you want to run this as your normal running light, there's your running light. There's your brake light. There's one turn signal. Turn that one off. And there's your other turn signal. There's your 4 modes and that's it. So can you use it as a chase light then? Pretty much no. No, you can't. That's still on the brake light. Now if I switch this to my other, now I switched it where I can actually use the brake light itself. I have it set up like that, but I have to have the key in it for that. I don't have the lights on, do I? No. All right, so now I hit the brake.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that's with all of the brake lights.
Yeah, but I have it set up that way, where. So let me switch it back. And now it's back on this thing. Now I can switch that from my second mode to my third or my fourth. But like I said, if you want a brake light, if you want turn signals, there's your 4. Your 4 are gone. You can't use it as a chase light. I mean, I guess you can. It's a bitchin' brake light and turn signals if that's what you want. But you know.
Yeah, if you want to use the other colors, then you got to go through the whole system again.
But that's not exactly what I'm saying though. What I'm saying is then it's no longer a chase light. It's like a third brake light.
Okay.
And that's the only, you know, if you want to use it as turn signals, you got to get rid of something else. So I'm not exactly crazy about that. Let's see that, and then your brake light in the center. But I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can do with it. I mean, anyway, I went through the modes, but you can change it. Let me shut that off. Let me turn this on, and I'll show you the way I hook this up. I can even get this out of here. So, what I did is I set this up underneath this fender. I leave this light on. Did I not put it on bright enough? There we go. Put it on brighter. And this is what I did, is that I made this plate that fits in this location that's pretty much useless any other time. I mean, you do have to take the shoulder bolster off, but once you put the seat belts in it, the shoulder bolster, you don't even really use that anymore. And what I did is I set this up. There's my button here that'll change the modes, that gives power to the yellow. It's just a temporary on. And then this is my switch. It's just a marine switch that goes from and if I switch it up, it goes back to the aux beam controller. If I switch it up, it's to the brake light. It's to my pedal. If I switch it down, then I think it's that. It's one of those. Well, I mean, I just did this last weekend, so I don't really. And what I ended up doing, because I mounted this here, I just put this piece of Velcro on it because I was afraid this clip is thought it was a little bit cheap. Just in case, I don't want that. And it fits underneath the fender. You can't see it. It's completely out of the way. Everything is beautiful. And you can see all the wires are there. The black and the red are to the first circuit. Well, actually, the first one goes to my flags. And then the second circuit is for the normal running light. And then the white is to the brake light. The green is to one of the turn signals. I mean, the blue is to one of the turn signals, and the green is to the other. And it was actually pretty painless. I mean, I did have it in the house, and I did play with it for quite a while before, you know, I actually brought it down and hooked it up. I have dang it, from 120 to 12 volt. I have a transformer that's set up. Yeah, why are you smiling at me like that?
You know.
Yeah, I do know. But I'll show the available modes. But anyway, it's actually, you know, I was having a lot of trouble when I actually bought it at first, thinking, would it be worth it? Is it worth it? I'm just some clown who did this myself.
Well, you think about it, because a lot of people that edit the videos, you don't see all of the stuff that they actually went through to install something. And that, I think, is pretty funny, because everything, oh, it's only 15 or 20 minutes until you start taking it out. And then once you start taking your buggy apart, then 3 hours later, you got a 15-minute video.
Well, you're right. But anyway, what I ended up doing was I ran this stuff into these plugs here. Now I can unplug this really quick. That's hard to do with one hand. Let me set this down. Okay. So this is now unplugged. And I put this on magnets. And unfortunately, they're very strong magnets. There we go. And all of it is wired into here. Into this waterproof case. And there we go. Now I try to keep all the wires the same color. This little red goes to that the red button, and that's to the yellow. I don't know if you can tell by the smaller wires that go to the yellow, and then I just chase it off of the red, which has to have power to it for it to run anyway. Now these other two here that are coming out, those are going to the switch that goes from my tail light or the actual buttons themselves. So I can set it up on the button, but like I said, if I don't like it on space number 2, which how I have it wired now, then I can just move these down. I left extra in here where I can move them down. But anyway, but I needed something waterproof and secure, and man, these magnets are so strong. You kind of see back there. All right, let me put this back in. Plug this right back into here, and then this goes right under here. Now, not that I'm going to be pulling this out very often, but at least now it's back in, and it doesn't move or wiggle around. It's completely out of the way. Everything is great. There's too much stuff here. There we go, put that back on. And there we go. And we are set. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say. It ended up working out really nice, and it is cool. I'm not gonna say it's not. It's way cool. There's too many things.
Okay.
But it really is. I mean, I really thought at first it was going to be tough to justify paying that much. But work a couple of holiday weekends, which we haven't had in a while, so that makes how long I've been saving the money for it. But it was definitely worth it. Now, like I said, the reason I'm making this video is because I couldn't get any concrete information about this. I mean, I saw short videos that showed me a little bit of what it'll do, but not everything. I'm hoping this answers your questions. If you guys need stuff about what it'll actually do, like I said, you go on rigid.com and you look under the chase light bars, and I guess there's something on there you can click on it. You can get a PDF of this and print this out, which is what I did, and it'll tell you all the stuff that it'll do. It's still kind of confusing once you get it. You get it home when you play with it, and then you'll really like it. It's way cool, way cool.
Now, do you suggest for them to get the controller for this bar?
Well, you can do however you want to do it. I mean, for me, that was the easiest way. This aux-beam controller for that is super easy. I mean, I didn't even have to use the circuit breaker that's in it because I already had it set up through the other switches that I had. So I just ran off of one of those buttons, and I ran the power back to the aux-beam, and it's a 30 amp fuse on that, and so far no issues. So I mean, not so far, but there shouldn't be. It shouldn't be any big deal. But
And the aux beam that I ended up buying is the 8 button. They got a 6 and an 8.
yeah, and that's why for the difference in price, I think was what, $10 or $15
Yeah, $10 or
for the extra
$15.
2 buttons. So it's super easy to hook up. I mean, I was intimidated by wiring stuff before. I just wanted to make sure I did it right and didn't screw anything up on it. But that makes it so simple. That really does make it super easy to do.
Yeah.
So
And one of the next videos that we do, we'll probably do those little light pods that Ed was showing you earlier in the video.
yeah,
And we'll be doing those, but
we
probably
put-
not for a while
when we put these on Donnie's,
because I need to get a battery for mine. So,
that's all right.
you know, an extra couple $100 for a new battery, because these things just sit for too long before we ride. So,
Oh, come on.
and because of COVID too. So,
What?
been in lockdown thanks to our governor. Oh,
Hey, come on,
No.
let's not get political. We're
No.
fine.
Yeah, no
We're fine.
political.
Everybody's fine.
Yeah,
That's
he's
it. We're gonna end the video on that. Thank you so much.
He's gonna edit that out. So.